My love was that Linux ka black screen. You should always work towards making yourself a brand. So things have become really accessible nowadays.
So you need to change your social media platforms from Instagram, Snapchat to LinkedIn and Twitter. Today we have with us Akanksha, who is an automation solution architect.
Thank you, Guneet, for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be attending this interview with you.
Yeah, so I want to know about your whole journey, how it started, because you come from a very small tier 2, tier 3 city, where from I also belong to, like Meerut,
Yeah.
and how it all started. Your dad is from a government job. He worked in SBI,
Yeah.
and how you came into this business.
I would like to start from the dream of my papa that we become independent. Yeah, being, the parents of two girls, they always wanted their girls to become independent and be something in their own life, right? So make their own decisions, not only financially, but should be able to make their own decisions. So that was the starting point where we, had this in our mind कि नहीं कुछ करना है. तो जिसको लेके हमेशा मम्मी वॉज ऑलवेज लाइक कि बेटा कुछ तो बनना है एंड विद दैट माइंड सेट वेन यू हैव इन माइंड राइट एंड दैट पुशिंग फॉर दैट एनकरेजमेंट वेन यू हैव एट योर होम यू actually I think you will become something that
Yeah.
is I feel like after during my engineering days तो उधर भी that was the thing it I always had that in mind कि this is something which I have to materialize ये कोई वैसे नहीं करना है कि हाँ ठीक है बस कर
Yeah.
रहे हैं देखेंगे जॉब लगेगा क्या लगेगा क्या नहीं लगेगा बट आई ऑलवेज यूज टू कीप विजिटिंग माई प्लेसमेंट सेल सर कौन सा कंपनी आ रहा है कब आ रहा है व्हाट कैन वी डू आई ऑल्सो वांट टू volunteer and understand the process so before even sitting in the placement exams I was assisting my placement cell to understand the process for my seniors so I started the journey at least 1-2 years before my
Okay.
term came so that was the thing and so I started my journey with IBM and I was placed as a infrastructure operations person. So I pushed myself. I used to work on weekends. तो being in that job जब आप Linux administrator की job में होते हो तो being a admin back in those days you had to work on weekends you had to have on call I was managing the servers
Okay.
ठीक है तो अगर आपकी अभी Facebook डाउन होता है तो पीछे एप्लीकेशन टीम तो काम करेगा बट एप्लीकेशन जिस पे होस्टेड है वो है सर्वर अभी सर्वर डाउन हो गया तो फिर उस केस में यू हैव टू बी अवेलेबल राइट अवे right
Okay. So 24/7 job,
24/7 job it was I remember sometimes I mean my friends laugh at me taking laptop to the movie theater also once or twice
Yeah.
that was the life for some time so when I got into the Linux administration slowly the things becoming started becoming repetitive abhi the tickets we used to work on tickets or issues so issues were repetitive so I always used to ask my seniors ki what is this I mean we have to work on the same kind of issues every time what new can we do what is there new to learn I'm done with this I'm bored with this so they always encouraged me that doing one thing the what you want to do if you want to create id for example so there are multiple ways of doing it the easiest way is for doing any work is you go and do it and you keep doing it multiple times on every place you want to do but the other way is that you automate it right
True.
so that from there the thing started कि okay
Automation comes to
automation
place, yeah.
yes so ऐसे करके I started my bit of automation and one day because of I wanted to do something um, there's an email came in IBM just a broadcasting email that they're looking for some automation developers didn't had much background of development I mean I did some study of languages during my engineering time languages like I did some C++, some .NET. I also did some internship in testing. So I had some idea about those. The logic was there, but yes, I was never implementing it on the practical assignments. So I was doing what I was doing, and I took that as an extended project. And because of that extended project of mine, I was known by so many people because we were working on a tool which was an idea of somebody, but I was working on the Linux side of it to develop a tool in shell script. Eventually I just transitioned completely into the automation team, and then there was a new team being formed of some 15 people across IBM. So again I talked to that person and he said, yeah, you can come on board, and I was privileged to be part of this, those only
Starting
15
team,
people
yeah.
across IBM who were part of that forming team. So that was first automation team
So after
being
how
formed.
many years, like at this place, were you like from your first job?
I was in my first job only at that point, and it was,
How
I
much time it
think,
took
4 years.
4 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you must have got better options also, better salary hikes also, but you
Hmm.
stayed in the same job.
There were so many distractions in between. Sometimes people around you are also a driving force for you to do something, right?
Yeah.
So many of my friends were either changing jobs or were either going for higher studies, because normally it's a trend. After 2 3 years people will either change the job, or the starting of their careers doing 2 3 years of job they will go for higher studies.
Yeah.
That's a normal trend for the IT people or for anybody, right? So then that is when my thing also started, that either I also go for something like that or I do something better in what I am doing. But then I sticked to what I was doing. I thought this is better, to invest your time in what you already know it better, and then materialize it to understand the process. And first 2 3 years you're actually trying to do that. Just, I mean, my mentor told me once that you should switch, either you earn less, okay, either you're earning less or you're gaining knowledge less, right? If either of the two things is happening, right, or a balance is there, then also don't switch. But if none of these is happening na, then you should switch. If one is there, then you can still plan to stay and work out, because if money you are getting, then you can learn on your own, right?
Yeah.
And if you're learning something, then you can anytime materialize it. You also learn so much many things from your mentors in the company when you stay somewhere.
So if you talk about mentorship, आपने भी बताया कि आपके भी mentors थे जिन्होंने आपको बहुत help किया, एक direction दी. In our previous interviews also we talked about mentorship, how it drastically changed your life.
Having a mentor, right,
Yeah.
it is very important, uh, in your life, in your career, as well as in your normal life, right? And I think you will also agree with it.
True.
Everybody should have a mentor. You should never follow anybody by closing your eyes, but you should always see some direction. Somebody should be there to show you some direction. Somebody should be there to clear your doubts if you have any, right, who is approachable. So that way, I mean, my mentors really helped me. They showed me the right way, they helped me. Sometimes you are lost, right? You don't know whether what is right, what is wrong, and so you can easily approach them, discuss with them what is right. There are so many skills in the market. Like, I was a Linux admin, right? From there are two paths. One is automation, another path is very much in boom these days, cloud.
Cloud, yeah.
Right? So I could have easily been in cloud also. But then it was, my mentor helped me understand the pros and cons of both, and then I picked what suited me. So
Yeah.
mentors are important to show you the thing, but you should have that thing in your mind, clear in your mind what you want.
What is this cloud? Everybody's talking about that. I want to be more clear about it. I want people to get more clear about it. What is this cloud thing?
Cloud is, see, as we all know, infrastructure is the base of everything, right?
Yep.
Now the thing with infrastructure is that it has all your data, right? Infrastructure can be the servers, application servers, your database servers, all could be there, right?
All right.
Okay. We used to access those servers remotely and all that. But the thing was, there was a lot of cost involved in maintaining those data centers. The companies like IBM had their own data centers. So there were many customers who were hosting their servers in IBM data centers. Many had their own data centers also, and somewhere else as well. But wherever you're hosting, you have to pay a huge amount, right? And you have to maintain that data center also. And then the one is data center, then maintaining that server is another thing.
Yeah.
So imagine there is router kept, right? and that is kept remotely, correct? And you have to see whether there are green light and red light coming there or not, right? So for that we had to see if the network is working fine or the storage is working fine, disks are fine or not, or something went bad, then you have to make sure that there is a backup arranged. If not, then okay, how will we manage and run our infrastructure, because there are huge businesses running on those. So there was huge costs involved and a lot of time taking tasks, because if something goes bad, for example, then there was
The whole
something.
business is stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, the business will be stuck, and there is a P1, for example, there's a priority one ticket waiting, right? And what we had to do is we had to call a hands and feet person. What is hands and feet? Is somebody physically going to that data center. There used to be a job. We used to have a phone number that, this server at this location, there is this problem. We want somebody, we want to raise a hands and feet request. So we used to raise that request midnight and all. That
And
person
somebody
will
will
go.
go there and will check
हाँ
out the hardware.
हाँ
So
and
everybody
some.
was like hardware thing. मतलब वो किसी की वेबसाइट hosted है
हाँ
और कोई ऑनलाइन सॉल्यूशन है तो उसका एक हार्डवेयर भी होगा जो किसी ने
हाँ
होस्ट किया होगा.
बिल्कुल. When you sign a contract with customers and with the issues in which you have to sign, there are SLAs defined. Ki P1, how much service level agreement is there, in this much time you should close it, you should update it. I remember one customer, we had to even update the ticket in half an hour. Agar half an hour mein we are not able to update it, there was a penalty on that to IBM.
That you are not replying on that.
हाँ, you are not updating the ticket
That what
continuously.
is happening.
हाँ, तो मतलब क्लाउड आने की वजह से क्या हुआ कि things you don't have to really manage that infrastructure. That has gone to one person like Amazon or Google or Microsoft. So they are big giants, and what is happening, they are having that infrastructure all together for so many of their customers at some divided locations, right? They are making sure that the latency is not there. There's no latency in the data transfer. There's a security maintained, and
Service is quick.
service is quick, pretty quick. How can we, with the costing model, how can we decrease it? How can we increase the availability? And all these factors which were really a challenge earlier, right? They have addressed all those challenges, and they have created their own data centers and put their services available on public mode to all their clients.
All right.
So this is the public cloud. But then there is also private cloud. So that is again separate topic altogether. But this is the overall thing about cloud, that you don't have to manage anything. There are service providers, managed service providers giving you so many services, and with good support model and running your infrastructure.
But still they are doing it the same way. Like हार्डवेयर अभी भी वैसा ही है जैसे पहले टेक्नोलॉजी थी, सेम वैसा ही.
हाँ, मतलब कहीं थोड़ा बहुत अपग्रेड तो होता है
मतलब
बेस्ड
स्टिल
ऑन
ऐसा
द.
कुछ नहीं हुआ.
नहीं.
लाइक अभी हम हार्ड डिस्क में डेटा सेव करते हैं, कुछ क्लाउड पे सेव करते हैं, लेकिन नथिंग लाइक दैट.
हाँ, मतलब क्लाउड ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ हवा में आसमान में
हाँ,
है,
that
जैसे
means
ऐसा नहीं है.
that
देयर इज
ड्राइव की
स्टिल.
जगह इट्स इन क्लाउड लाइक गूगल ड्राइव,
नहीं
नथिंग लाइक दैट.
नहीं, they are actually physical systems only.
ओके.
Yeah, it's just that you are not maintaining those. You are not worried about it. अगर कुछ down भी जा रहा है, they are managed service providers. So
Okay.
they are managing the services of that. If something is going down also, they have to make sure that it comes up and there is no, the based on the contracts you have with them.
I want to know about how one can be a automation solution architect if somebody dreams to be one. What should he do in his school, college? What courses should they choose? Or what skills should they work on?
See, I think firstly, automation is, I believe, a way of thinking.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to get into automation, your way of thinking should be, how can I automate whatever is coming in front of me, whatever I do manually, how can I automate it and get rid of it and move to the next thing. If you have that thing in your mind, right, then you will automatically start searching for such things on Google, or how can I make it work, right, on your day-to-day tasks. That will be the starting point. Talking about skills, so skills, I mean, today, in today's world, learning is available almost at the level of free only, I would say, on internet.
Online, no?
Yeah.
So some courses are free courses?
There are free courses, but again, the payment also which these people take, right? It's very negligible. It's not that much as we used to pay earlier for learning something, right?
True.
It's not that much. So, I mean, what you get out of it and what you can make out of it is not nothing. I mean, it is too much than what you're just paying to them. If you
Yeah.
invest in yourself, then only anything is return, right? ROI. Until you invest in something, how can you reap the benefits out of it,
True.
right? So people forget that for themselves.
How if you are going back to the past, if you are living again,
Hmm.
what changes you wanted to make in your life?
From the automation
Yeah.
solutions
Point of
perspective,
view, yeah. If you want to get succeeded in automation solutions.
I would say that these days, I don't know the college curriculum, how the languages are still positioned in their curriculum, but I would say Python is something that every individual should pick it up and learn it. It's easy. It is very approachable because it does not require much of a setup for you to do. You can learn, you can do the infrastructure part of it. You can also create some APIs, which is nothing but an integration. For integrations we use it between two systems, and very important when you have to integrate two systems. Then you can also create some backend, front end can be anything. So I think Python is one thing which you should know, and that works also wonderfully between multiple operating systems.
All
So it
right.
can work with Windows, Linux. It is awesome. You don't have to
Python
learn
is the
different
thing
things. Huh,
which one
Python
should
is,
focus on.
yes.
These days you are interviewing so many people, right?
Hmm.
What you want a person to be like, which skills you look for, like this is the right fit for us. Any skills like he or she should be a good developer, coder, or something else. What you see.
Skills is one thing. Some people know the skills, but they don't know how to apply them or don't know how to be a team player, right? So working in a company is not only about a good developer, but you should also understand. You should have a good understanding. You should be a good team player, right? All these things are very important. A balance of all these things is what we look for, right? If a person is a good developer but not able to convey what message they want to give, or not able to make them understand what their program is doing, then there's no point, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you can train them. So it again depends what level you are hiring. So if it's a junior level, then you can still train them. But a senior person, you are expected to convey, and you should be able to talk to clients,
Communication
represent
skills.
them.
Communication skills
Yeah,
is something which you look for. Like
communication skills is there. Then their adaptability to new skills, how adaptable they are, how good and fast learner they are. How do they learn? Do they wait for their managers to trigger their learning, or they are self learners?
they're enthused to learn
And
new
to
things. Yeah.
learn, yeah. What are the projects they think that we should work on? What are the ideas they have, in the daily day to day things? When they see some problems, what problems they see and they think should be automated? So that thought process, right? As I said, it's a way of thinking. The
Yeah.
thought process is the main thing which makes a person very much eligible for, I think, for any job, I believe. Because
True.
anybody can do anything, I believe. Just a way of thinking and how you look at it, and you really want to do it, can make you do anything.
Absolutely. If we talk about adaptability, obviously people in college don't know about what adaptability is, right? They know that adapting to new situations in life when something happens to is adaptability. How one can conquer these skills.
See, they should keep reading, and as I said, identify the problems. And in the college, I would say the main problem is people are not aware of what's the need. I think that is what your somewhere question is. Ki how will they know what is required? What is the
Absolutely.
requirement? I mean, somewhere I was also not very sure when I was in college that what will I go and do in the job. I was like, what will I get? Whatever I'll get, I'll do. So, but I mean, it is today. I think there are so many things available that they can, if they want to be a web developer, then that's a different story altogether. PHP and Node. there are so many JavaScript languages. In my area, if you are interested in operating systems, for example, and you want to automate that part of the infrastructure operations, then I think you should understand firstly how to automate the operations, the daily operations of the servers. You should think about how can you automate the builds part of it. How can you automate, the configurations part of it. How can you make a thing, a change in multiple servers in one click. How can you minimize manual interventions, so which all should be the decision making
Making it
points.
all easy.
Yeah. So if you're talking about infrastructure, then whatever are the components of infrastructure, how to make them available in less time. So that should, if you think that way, then you will keep getting answers. So the skills are, one is Python, right, which is a all rounder for everything. But other than that, in today's, see, everybody is not a coder, right? So there are multiple tools also available in market today, which are low code platforms, right? So you necessarily need not be a hardcore coder. These tools are available, like IpSoft is there, then Ayehu is there, then you have Rundeck is there, then you have ServiceNow Orchestrator, which is a very much talked about tool these days. So these tools, what they do is, they give you certain baseline. So they give you a drag and drop का thing कि अच्छा सर्विस रीस्टार्ट करने का है या कमांड चलाने का है, तो इधर से पैलेट उठा
You
के
don't
इधर
have to code everything, but
हाँ,
there is
वो
a
पूरा स्क्रिप्ट लिखने के, जैसे पाइथन तो पूरा स्क्रिप्ट हो गया है ना, तो उसमें तो पूरा कोड, लेकिन हर किसी को इंटरेस्ट नहीं होता, लेकिन फिर भी ऑटोमेशन में आना है, करने का इच्छा है, तो फिर यू कैन गेट इनटू दीज टूल्स. तो इस टूल्स के थ्रू भी आप ऑटोमेशन कर सकते हो, एंड दे डोंट रियली नीड यू टू बी अ हार्ड कोर स्क्रिप्टर. यू शुड अंडरस्टैंड द लॉजिक इन समवेयर, यू शुड लर्न स्क्रिप्टिंग बिकॉज दैट इज द बेस, बट यू कैन ऑलवेज स्टार्ट विद दिस. तो ये एक ITPA ऑटोमेशन होता है, जो कि IT प्रोसेस ऑटोमेशन होता है, जो कि इन टूल्स के थ्रू होता है. फिर एक ऑटोमेशन होता है RPA, वो भी आजकल बहुत बूम में है, रोबोटिक प्रोसेस ऑटोमेशन. For that, the tools are UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere. These are the three market leaders for RPA. Okay. And they are very much in demand क्योंकि वो जितना भी सर्विस डेस्क एजेंट्स और इन सबका काम होता है, you can easily automate with these robot based tools. Then you have another category of automation is builds and config management. तो builds के लिए you have tools like Terraforms, right? And then for config management, the most talked about tool these days is Ansible. So Terraform, Ansible are easy to learn, and they have their community versions also available. So you don't have to really buy any licenses to use them. You can easily install them on your Linux systems and use them. But if you want to learn more about it, then yes, there are license versions also, there are certifications also, all that goes on. But these are the three main categories of automations you can think about and work on.
there is one thing, like people who are from IITs, IIMs, or Stanford, Harvard, people having these degrees must be working with you, and you are also working with them, maybe on the higher position.
Yeah.
You came from a very like tier 3, tier 4 city college. You just had a BTech degree, but you are sitting above them. So this is kind of thing, like degrees do matter, बट कहाँ से करी है वो इतना मैटर नहीं करता.
हाँ, बिल्कुल इतना मैटर नहीं करता है कि कहाँ से करी है, तो बिल्कुल एकदम, मतलब अगर IIT IIM से करी, ऐसा नहीं है कि एकदम टॉप पे ही बैठ जाओगे,
या लाइफ ही चेंज हो जाएगी. बट
हाँ,
स्टार्टिंग में आपको एक एज मिल सकता है,
एज मिल सकता है
that
स्टार्टिंग
you'll
में.
get
हाँ,
2 or 3 higher positions, but if somebody is consistent, hard working,
तो उसे भी मिल सकता है.
yeah,
वही, मतलब मेरा स्टार्टिंग में माइंडसेट वही था कि एज आई सेड ना, पीपल वर गोइंग फॉर हायर स्टडीज. तो आई हैड माई फ्रेंड गोइंग फॉर MBA, सो आई वाज थिंकिंग कि जाना चाहिए क्या, पता तो है नहीं MBA मतलब इंटरेस्ट का है या नहीं है, कौन, आधा काम तो मैनेजमेंट में. स्टार्टिंग में आई हैड माई फ्रेंड्स नियर मी सिटिंग who came from after doing MBA, and they were working on PPTs and Excel because management का काफ़ी काम PPTs में रहता है. My love was that Linux का black screen. तो मेरे को वो अभी PPT में धीरे धीरे at the end everybody has to get there, but initially I had my love of that black screen
You were info
satisfied.
about
Ha,
this thing, right?
ha, I was.
Okay.
I am still today also. If I see my black screen, I can work endlessly on that.
So how you improve your skills, like in how you keep yourself updated? Because the languages are coming every day, new languages are coming. Life is changing very quickly because you are doing automation yourself.
Hmm.
So everything is getting automated.
Hmm.
You are going to the next step every day. New languages are coming. So how you keep yourself updated after so much tiring schedule?
You connect with people, keep knowing about the newest things in market. I think that is the best way and the easiest way if you're connected with people, because with the word of mouth, the knowledge that you get, right, that is very easy to acquire, and then what fits in your bucket, that you go and read. क्योंकि
Okay.
अगर सब कुछ आप गूगल करने लग जाओगे या फिर थोड़ा
बुक्स पढ़ने
बहुत,
लगोगे
हाँ,
इतना
तो
ज़्यादा?
टाइम लगता है उस चीज को, बट stay connected with the right people, with your mentors. Then whenever you get time, put some time of yours over there ki acha, but only thing one should work is, what I realize is, you should always work towards making yourself a brand. Make yourself a brand. Once you make yourself a brand, then no need to worry about anything. Everything else
How we
will
can do
follow.
that?
You can do that by keeping yourself updated, your same question, right? So think what is coming up in the market, what is valuable, and learn it fast. Once you learn it fast, you are ahead, right? And once you are ahead, then you are ready for the next thing, and people are still learning that thing,
Yeah.
right? More fast you are to catch up, right? And the
Adaptability
fast
skills, no?
learner, adaptability, all that matters. So correlation is the key of understanding things. You know something, you cannot know everything about one thing. If I know one tool, I cannot know everything about it. Nobody can know. I cannot become a master of it. Okay? But I should be able to manage it. I should be, if a new project comes, I should be able to deliver it. I should have that much knowledge about everything, whatever I want to know, right? That I should be able to talk about it, get the project, and then when it comes to implementation, then do it. Because then you get some time, right? So,
Yeah.
basic things about everything in the market you should know,
All right.
but not in detail of everything.
But you should know a bit of everything and you should work on what you are interested in and what might help you in your job role.
Yes, yes. Make yourself a brand, as I said, right? What you think will make you a brand in that group of people. What makes you stand out? Identify that. Analyze around you. Correct?
Yeah,
If you analyze that, you get that thing, and you know what will make your value here, then you are set.
correct.
You'll always be ahead.
So we'll sum up the video with your last thoughts about if somebody is trying to just get into the IT industry, they are not clear about what they'll do and they don't have any mentors, but they want to do crack something great in IT industry. What you will suggest them to do? What you will suggest them? What should they do in their life in starting in the college days?
Keep learning, keep finding new things to learn, and have that mindset. I have to do something, that is there. Way of thinking, what I just talked about, I think in most of the times in my video, that way of thinking and the mindset to get there, right? That will be your path. And then when you go on to that path, you will automatically start getting way outs on what to do next, what to do next, and where to go. But that is the starting point. If you have that mindset, and whatever you want to do, you want to get into the IT industry, there are so many portals today. Udemy is there, and Google is so accessible, internet is so accessible. There are so many people available on LinkedIn, right? You can easily reach out to people. People are so responsive these days, and there are so many, people like you are trying to help people over here to make them realize what is there in the market and understand. So follow these kind of people, make the right use of social media, make the right use of internet, and bring it to the right conclusion and path for
Yeah,
themselves. I think that would be
yeah.
that's what they can do.
Because we also try to bridge the gap between the reality and the academics, the
Yeah.
education system. There's a big gap. You also know that the degree which you did BTech is
Hmm.
of no use right now, right? Because things are changing up so quickly, and even then they are not that practical in India. So people like us need to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
People like you who are from corporate industry need to come ahead and help people, mentor people, and I think every corporate wants to give something back to the nation. That's what our
Yes.
motive is too.
So today we have so many Indian leaders who are the CEOs of such companies. You have Google, you have Twitter CEO recently. I mean, okay,
Microsoft,
it's bought by Elon Musk, but that guy still
yeah,
was there. And then,
Satya
with
Nadella is
Satya
there.
Nadella is there. So you make the right use of social media, of internet, and
LinkedIn is something which I think can change your life. If you want to come into the corporate industry, if you want to work your,
yeah, I mean, before working also you can easily follow people, right? Your
you can
mindset.
get into the industry before even getting the job.
Exactly. You will know what is there in the market, what is booming. There are so many posts coming up. So things have become really accessible nowadays.
So you
So
need to change your social media platforms from Instagram, Snapchat to LinkedIn and Twitter.
yeah, give
And
some time there also. I mean, I would not say, leave your life on Twitter and Snapchat, but give some time to LinkedIn also. Give
yeah.
some time to reading on Google some good things also, or some newsletters. Yeah. So
So if you want to get with us on a webinar, or if you want to stay in touch with us, you want mentorship with Akanksha or people like Akanksha, they are ready to help you. If you want to grow in your life, you can subscribe our channel, and we'll bring more such powerful women who have done great in life and still are trying to help people like you from tier 2, tier 3 cities. Thank you, Akanksha. Thank you for having us. Thank you for coming to our channel. Thank you.
thank you, Guni. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
arranging this and for having me. It
Thank
was
you.
lovely talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank
Same.
you.